for Hajj or traveling without a mahram, and she chose to obey him, not going, taking the money she has and giving it in charity, whatever, she gets the reward, not specifically for charity, but by having the intention to go, but being unable to go, she gets the reward of those who go. Perhaps she'll get more reward than those who go. So she shouldn't consider that she's losing out in that sense. Of course, some people may focus, well, seeing the Kaaba, the changes that tend to happen when we see the Kaaba and these type of things. Well, again, there's no guarantee seeing the Kaaba is going to have this effect or not have this effect. The point is that if one doesn't have the means, it's better for one not to travel alone, whether it be Hajj, Umrah, or for any other purpose, unless it is a necessity, a case of hijrah. A woman accepts Islam in a particular country and there's only corruption around her. She needs to get out of there. She needs to get to a life where there are Muslims where she can practice her Islam. So that kind of travel would be permissible for her. Another question, then to us, dear Dr. Bilal Phillips, could you please explain this situation for us? Is imitating the kuffar related only to religious imitation, or does it include non-religious dress? Due to the globalization, it is difficult to determine when one is imitating the kuffar. Well, the issue of imitating others, the disbelievers, etc. Prophet Muhammad had said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." Whoever imitates the way of a people is of them, is one of them. So we're discouraged to imitate the practices of non-Islamic cultures. So our question here is this limited to religious imitation? Of course, clearly, the imitation which is related to religious practices, whether it is wearing wedding rings on this finger, or the red wedding dress commonly worn in India and Pakistan, or a variety of other, cultural practices. We'll say that in terms of our dress, these that are connected to religion are outright forbidden. Those that are not connected to religion, then we have to look. If it is something particular to the people of this culture, they're known by it, then it's better to avoid it. Things like ties and neckties and things like this, bow ties, typical of that culture. So we try to avoid it. But things which are not typical to that culture, which become an international norm, we may wear these things as long as they conform to Islamic traditions. The problem that a lot of people are faced with is the issue of the pants, wearing pants. And these pants, Western style pants, though they're mentioned in the hadith, Prophet had spoken about the sirwal, wearing a sirwal, going for Hajj. If a person doesn't have an izar, they could wear a sirwal. So it's known that they were wearing these pants in the past. But the pants of those days are wide, loose pants, crotch somewhere around your ankles, these kind of things, huge, or similar to the Pakistani pants that are worn in Pakistan today. Such pants, of course, we have no problem with. But the pants which are Western cut pants, which are deliberately cut in such a way that it tends to shape or show the form of the private parts, these pants are really not acceptable Islamically, especially with persons making salah, praying, bowing and prostrating, where their private parts are formed by the pants. This is forbidden. It's unacceptable. One of the conditions for the acceptability of salah is that the awra, or private area, be covered, and that is between the navel and the knee. So, we have to be careful about taking on certain dress codes, etc., which are related to the disbelieving society that has a different goal for dress. Their goal is to expose the private parts, whereas the Islamic goal is to cover it. When a couple decides to marry, what can the man see of his wife before they marry? Can they talk to each other about their views on different matters if a mahram is with them? Of course, if a mahram is with them, they can talk, freely, as long as the mahram is with them. They shouldn't be alone. Prophet said when two get together, a man and a woman get together. The third is shaitan. Now, how much can the man see? I mean, he can see what is normally permissible to the mahram. You know, he can see the neck, the hair, arms maybe up to the elbows, feet up to the knees. You know, that to give him an idea of what the person looks like. Similarly, she can see, you know, from him what is sufficient while maintaining his basic clothing requirements. It is common, third question, for children of married cousins to suffer from various physical and mental disorders. Does Islam discourage this practice in any way? Well, I don't know if we can say it's common for children of married cousins. I mean, where this marrying of cousins has gone on for generation after generation after generation, yes, we may find certain disorders coming out of it. It shows that Islam, you know, of course, is not going to favor this kind of a practice. Prophet Muhammad of all his wives, he only married one who was a cousin, you know, whereas the others were from different families, from different tribes, from different countries. So Islam does not really encourage the constant marrying, which has become a standard now, of cousins. It made it permissible when people didn't marry cousins at all. He made it permissible to marry cousins. But some people have taken this to an extreme where children are not allowed to marry outside of their cousins. And of course, this is not from Islamic teachings. The last question, please talk about the so-called honor killings that are very common in Jordan and Pakistan. Of course, this is something hateful in Islam. To take a Muslim's life, a Muslim woman's life, saying it's an honor killing, there's no such thing. There's no honor in killing, no honor in murder. It is evil. It's fundamentally evil. Islam is opposed to it. Let the law take its course. Let the law handle. If the woman has gone wrong, has made some error, whatever, let the law check it out and deal with it. You know, we should not take it upon ourselves to take the lives of others. Very, very dangerous states to be in or position to take. It is sunnah to look at the man or woman in person before marriage. Or is this photograph sufficient? Well, where one cannot see the actual person, then a photograph, because you're in another country or whatever, a photograph could serve that purpose. But of course, that photograph, when it's being taken on the side of the man or the woman, this photograph should be taken as a natural photograph, you know, not one which has been retouched, you know, because unfortunately this is what happens. The person gets a picture and then they, you know, ask the studio to remove their blemishes and whatever doesn't look good, they try to change it up. So you're creating a picture here now. This is no longer a photograph. This becomes a hand work of art depicting a human being, which is now forbidden, clearly forbidden in Islam. And we have another letter here. I think inshallah time will permit us to finish it. Dear Dr. Phillips, I've heard a hadith, the meaning of which is that a man will do good deeds all his life until he will be a few cubits away from paradise. Then his destiny will overtake him and he will go to hell. Similarly, the opposite. He's explained this with regards to free will or the free will of human beings and regarding choosing a good or bad deed. This question really addresses the issue of people who do the good deeds, that is, externally. They appear to be Muslims, they're really hypocrites, they don't really believe on the inside. The environment causes them, or the family causes them to comply with Islamic teachings. So they appear good. But Allah will not allow them to die in that state. He will expose them before the time of their death. Chances will be given to them to live their regular life, the life that they really desire, and they will expose themselves as hypocrites, disbelievers. And vice versa, a person may live in a bad life due to the environment, etc. But they have a good side to them, a good heart. So Allah will find a way for them, show them a way which will cause them to take a good path and die on the path. We'd like to thank you, dear viewers, for being with us in this episode of our program, In the Light of Islam. And we hope that you'll continue to follow the program through the remaining weeks, months, years. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.